When last we left Pizzagate, the fake news report that claimed Hillary Clinton operatives were running a pedophilia ring out of a D.C. pizza parlor, the story was thoroughly repudiated. But not for Ben Swann, an anchorman and tinfoil hat wearer at a local TV station in Atlanta. It was early December when a gunman stormed the Ping Pong Comet pizza parlor in D.C., saying he wanted to see for himself whether Hillary Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta was really running a pedophilia ring out of the place.
D.C. police say this North Carolina man was inspired by a lie spread online.
That story and several like it had been summarily debunked, but that isn't stopping CBS 46 Atlanta anchorman Ben Swann, who this week gave viewers what he says is a reality check.
Media is telling you the entire story is a hoax or fake news. But what does that even mean?
Standing in front of an interactive screen for 5 minutes, Swann leads viewers through a maze of conspiratorial links between Podesta, several pizza parlors, and pedophilia symbols.
Just notice this one on the end, the triangle. That image signifies something called boy love. Why hasn't any investigation taken place?
But according to the Daily Beast, Swann himself never did an investigation, never spoke to John Podesta, any of the pizza parlor owners he maligns, or any law enforcement agency involved with the case.
There is no proof here that there is a child sex ring being operated out of a D.C. pizza parlor. Investigators have already proven there's nothing to the story, right? Well, actually, no.
Well, actually, yes. You know, this guy has a whole track record. He's never been on my radar screen, but, you know, he says some of the shooters like Dylan Roof and Adam Lanza and people like that, or the Aurora guy, didn't act alone. So this is a regular routine of his, going back and looking at these things and putting some kind of, but I mean, I think this one just reached a level where even CBS and others are not, his own station is defending him, but not too many others.
No, that's for sure. I showed this to my students this week.
Really?
And we were all just kind of looking at it, aghast.
Yeah.
It's so disjointed. It's hard to know what he's even trying to convey. You know, frankly, it made me think of the kinds of phone calls and long manifestos that we would sometimes get when Adam and I were working at the Boston Phoenix together. I mean, just crazy off-the-wall stuff.
We still get some of those.
That is...
Or a prison rant,
right,
they call it.
Crazy off-the-wall stuff that's chock full of details that you're in no position to refute.
We get a few of those here.
You just know that overall this is crazy.
Yeah. But the thing is, you can. I mean, I would urge everyone watching our show to go back and watch his report in full. You can find it on YouTube, because there are some really interesting things he does. He talks about the odd appearance of the word handkerchief in the Podesta emails and how it might be a reference to pedophilia, code for pedophilia activities. I hopped on WikiLeaks and looked at the Podesta emails and looked at the appearances of the word handkerchief. It didn't look weird to me at all. He also says in that report there are details that I can't even share with you. They're so horrific that we can't broadcast them, which is great. What a great technique, because then everyone watching who's inclined to believe, oh, there must be something horrible going on there. I have no idea what he's talking about. In addition, his big frustration with Pizzagate is, why hasn't law enforcement investigated? By the way, we don't know if they have or not, because he doesn't tell us in his report, really. But I was watching his reports on, claiming that at Sandy Hook and other places that these were not lone gunmen. And in those cases, he says, the police have investigated, but you can't really believe what they're telling you. So there's always a way to move the goalpost. It's a really slick and kind of terrifying technique. I should mention he worked for a couple of years for Russia Today.
Russia Today,
He also said that the Boston Marathon bombers, that wasn't a real thing, that it was potentially a fake terrorist attack that the government was behind. And so, that's all I really need to hear. Right? I mean...
Well, this is the thing. I mean, this is scary stuff, because we know that the result of this was that a guy who genuinely was, tripped up about this and thought he was going to save children who are at risk, went in there with a gun. Thank God, nothing happened. But we're talking about real people's lives, and real circumstances. This is not acceptable at all. It also, in the world that we're fighting in now with the fake news thing, we don't need anybody out here with a platform to just spew whatever. If he wants to do this kind of commentary, sit at the desk, put commentary underneath. If they want to air that, then I know that came out of your head. There is no tying this over here to Podesta. You know what it reminded me of? 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. I'm like, what does this have to do with this one to this one to this one? It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
It was.
So, but it's scary because it's real people. And so I don't know what our response as a community should be except having these kinds of conversations.
Well, and it's a network affiliate in a huge market.
A network
they
affiliate.
took the original broadcast down, the original report. Yes, they did take that off the website. And CBS, the network, has said we are not connected to them. This
I think
is
it's
a local.
time for him to go.